Thank you so much for having me, Scott. Did you have a certain thing you want me to start with, or should I go ahead and play a video?
I think we should start with the video, and then I really like hearing your background and then getting into your process, which I think is super interesting.
Perfect. So let me go ahead and, oh, you know what?
Happy wedding! Happy wedding!
I got invited to a wedding at Chuck E. Cheese in Everett, and how could I say no? So here's what happened. Years ago, Chuck E. Cheese posted an April Fool's joke that they now host weddings.
And it's like Chuck E. Cheese, where the mouse can make you a spouse.
That's where Leilani and Kwai Lee come in, a couple MIT grads living in Somerville.
She brings me out of my box. For example, with this wedding.
Which wasn't really supposed to happen.
Oh, our lawyers from corporate want to tell you that this is April Fool's joke.
But Leilani was like, we're doing this for real.
So I was like, hello, I heard that you guys do weddings now. And they were like, I'm gonna need to put you on hold. And then it was a long hold. And then finally he came back and was like, yeah, I guess you can just book it like a birthday party. Like.
Now for the big question, how much did it cost?
This is a mega fun Chuck E. Cheese package, so it came out to around $800.
We have a winner!
And for a wedding, that's like less than the cost of an airfare. Plus, do normal weddings have all-you-can-play passes, or a ticket blaster,
or breakdancing mice? Or pizzas with suspiciously mismatched slices?
Chuck E. Cheese! Chuck E. Cheese!
I always tell people that the best thing about being married is that you don't need to plan a wedding anymore. Booking a caterer or a DJ or a band or figuring out where everyone's going to sit, it's all just extra stress for what's supposed to be the happiest day of your life. Leilani and Kwai Lee figured out a cheat code. They spent less but got so much more, sending everyone home with core memories to grow old with. And you know what they say about the couple that plays together.
She has lots of crazy ideas, and I love to go along with them.
And I'm excited to spend the rest of my life with them.
This is a video, by the way.
Okay.
From a Chuck E. Cheese wedding, I'm Matt Shearer. For more, ask Alexa to play WBZ News Radio on iHeartRadio.
Well, I don't want us to be like the creeping adults at the Chuck E. Cheese, so figured it's time for us to head out.
Yeah.
So that wedding, by the way, happened at 8:30 in the morning because it was the only time I had to do it without kids there. But yeah, so this is a good example of the kind of story I tend to do. Very people-driven, very fun, light, but just unusual things that are fun and relatable about our communities. For me, so I started, I know a lot of people get into the world of journalism because they're passionate about storytelling. They want to be maybe on TV or in the newspaper or the radio. It doesn't matter because they want to do journalism. For me, the medium mattered. I really wanted to do radio. I grew up loving the medium. I thought it was so cool to be in my car and be listening to somebody who was somewhere else in the world telling me a cool story about a song that I like, or just keeping me company, in the car. When I was little, obviously, I was in the car with my parents, but as I got older, I just loved that companionship where I'd be in the car by myself and there was somebody talking to me, and I wanted to be that guy. And so I had been laser focused since I was 14 years old at doing radio, being a radio guy. And it just so happens that the job that was most recently available to me when I needed it to was in the world of journalism. I had never really been a reporter before being at WBZ, but I had been working for a top 40 morning show, like an entertainment comedy driven style show. I had also worked in political talk radio. So the skills that I had from both of those past jobs kind of put them together, and it sort of works that I had what I needed to do in order to be a reporter. So while most journalists have to work to learn the medium that they end up in, I knew the medium but had to learn how to be a journalist. And so at first I was just doing radio stuff, right? Just myself and a microphone, all audio. That was great for me. I love that. I studied audio production and radio in school. But then my boss registered the account WBZ News Radio on TikTok and said, we need somebody to post here, and we want it to be you. Because at the time, I was the young new guy in the newsroom, and they're like, oh, you're young, you must understand TikTok. And that's not really how it works. To be honest with you, I didn't have a personal TikTok account before that, but I was like, all right, I guess I got to figure this out now. I got to figure out how to do video on top of the audio work that I'm already doing. So, what I did to make it easier for myself at first was just take the radio pieces that I was already putting together that were broadcasting on the air and on our podcasts And then I slapped B-roll on top of it. Just random, generic, easy video that didn't take up too much of my time, and I could just put it out there. And they were fine. You know, some of them got a little bit of traction, but it wasn't really the most compelling stuff to look at, you know, because the video was kind of an afterthought. So the more I started doing this, the more clever I got about when to take out my phone, what types of shots to capture. And then I started making videos and audio pieces specifically for social media. So it's to the point now where rather than taking my old pieces and making them new for socials, I'm now taking my new pieces for social media and then working backwards and deconstructing them for the radio later on. The radio has kind of become the afterthought, whereas the social media storytelling is my number one priority. And the biggest reason for that is just there's so much potential for growth. And we've seen it, right? That video you just watched got, I think, somewhere around like 3.5 million views on Instagram alone, another couple million on TikTok. And we're reaching all these people that otherwise never would have known that WBZ News Radio existed. So to me, it's really, really worthwhile to focus the majority of my efforts on what I'm putting out there on social media. And again, it's been working out great. So you wanted me to talk a little bit about process, right, Scott?
Yeah, just, you know, in this class, we shoot mainly on Sony A7 cameras, and then they do, you know, documentary style videos, but then we have incorporated the last couple of years vertical videos too. Just talk about what you shoot on and your editing process, and then, you know, go into how you find stories. And
yeah,
I do want to touch on interviewing tips too.
Of course. So perfect. So yeah, I typically, because all of this started as radio first, video second, I take my audio very seriously, and I've got a bunch of different microphones that I jump between. I'll get really nerdy on you for a minute here, but I'll try to speak English when I explain some of this stuff. I think you already have a pretty good understanding if you're already making these videos. But this is the microphone that I take out with me that you see in most of my videos. It's more famous than I am at this point because it's in every single shot that I do, and I'm only in some. And that's fine. I'm not jealous of the microphone. It's a Sony VP64AL. That's an omnidirectional microphone that's made specifically for like journalism and broadcast. And the reason I use an omnidirectional microphone in the field, if you know what that means the pickup pattern is all around the microphone. Not just in front of it, but everything around it gets picked up. And that's good because I actually like ambiance. Like when you were listening to that Chuck E. Cheese story, you probably heard some of the arcade machines going off in the background. That's great. That's how you make an immersive video that makes people really feel like they're there with you at the Chuck E. Cheese wedding. And also, where I only have one hand for a microphone free and only have one microphone, I'm going back and forth, you know, holding it in front of people, then moving it to myself, then holding it in front of the people. And while it's facing somebody, if I start talking, it's going to pick me up. If I have the microphone right here and they start talking, it's going to pick them up too. So that's why I like using an Omni mic in the field. And when I'm at home recording a lot of my voice stuff, this is my mic here, my SM7B. It's also by the company Shearer. You probably have seen these in every single podcaster's videos. A lot of people don't know how to use these, and they hold them like this, and it just makes it sound really bad. You don't have to. Just try not to put your hand all over it. It's also the same diaphragm in this microphone as in an SM58, which I have over here. This is the same mic that you see on stage at just about every concert you go to. It's tried and true. It's great for vocals, super durable, and it sounds just like the SM7B. So if I'm out in the field and I want to record some voiceover, I can use this one, better for on the go. And then when I'm at home, I can do this one, and my voice sounds the same in two different places, which is great. The main thesis here for me is to not neglect your sound. I think it's very easy in this world to be so visually focused and care the most about how something looks before we post rather than how it sounds. But sound is so important because bad sound is like the difference between a video that's truly immersive and makes you feel like you're at the Chuck E. Cheese versus one that's jarring, hard to follow, and you're asking your people to constantly be adjusting the level on their phone to hear what's going on, hear what's being said. They're constantly relying on the subtitles to figure out what's being said. You want it to be as smooth as possible for people. You want the sound to be so good that people don't even notice the sound. And I can show you some tricks and stuff on how to do that in a minute too. But yeah, so that's what I use. And those are all not connected to my phone when I'm out recording video. Those are all connected to a recorder. I use by a company called Zoom. Not the same Zoom that does video conferencing software, but it's a Zoom H5. They also make one that's really popular called the H4n, which you'll see on a lot of film shoots and stuff. Just a really good quality sound recorder that has an SD card that I just pop into my computer when I get home. And then I sync up the video in post. So the videos are not synced when I get home, but that's fine by me. And in fact, it's actually saved me a bunch of times because while I'm recording the video on my phone, the phone is obviously capturing sound too. I've been in situations where, believe it or not, the microphone audio is messed up or doesn't pick something up that the camera does. And so then I'm able to take I basically am out there with two different microphones in case one craps out and I need to rely on the other. So that's what I do. I will say it's a much more cumbersome process. So if you do go out with your audio synced perfectly to the video by the time you sit down to edit, that's great. And that saves you a step. Awesome. If it works for you, it works great. I'm just telling you why I do what I do and how it works for me. I think at the end of the day, when we talk about gear and process and editing software and all that, the really important thing to keep in mind is that the finished product is so much more important than anything else. Nobody is watching my videos being like, damn, he used a Shure VP64AL. Like, that's a cool micro. Nobody cares about that. Or nobody's like, oh, wow, he edited that video in Adobe Premiere and did the audio in Pro Tools. You know, it's like nobody cares. They just care about the finished product. I watched a great video of, I think it was Michael Jackson's recording engineer who was like, no one ever goes into the record store and hums the sound of the recording console. You know, they're humming the song. So at the end of the day, whatever process works best for you, as long as you're not neglecting your audio, you get something that you feel like it looks good too, that's all that matters. And I do, like you said, Scott, I typically shoot on my phone. I've been offered nicer cameras by the station. They've also offered me gimbals and all kinds of gear. And I've turned them down because for me, the phone works best. It's easier for me to just pull out of my pocket on a whim and catch something really quickly. And, it's less to carry around. I feel like it's less intimidating for my interview subjects than something big. It's just, it works. It doesn't look as great. It's an Android, let's admit it. But it's fine. It's social media. I think the bar is fairly low on social media, the bar for entry. People aren't expecting pristine 4K quality, silver screen-esque video. But it's good. It's good enough. It works for me. And like I kind of alluded to a second ago there, I do most of my audio editing in Pro Tools, which is what all of your favorite albums are recorded on. It's a very intense audio editing platform, but it's really good. Like once you get the hang of it, it's great. And I can do anything I want with the sound. There have been times though, where I need to turn around a story pretty quickly. And in those cases, I'll rely on doing everything in Adobe Premiere. I'm going to show you a video right now. That's a perfect example of that also kind of sets up exactly what we're talking about here with my process. And this is the video that I posted the other day from the Boston Marathon. You haven't shown them this one yet, have you, Scott?
No.
Okay, great. So the way this story came about is I was at the marathon, and to be honest with you, I love the marathon as a spectator and a visitor and a Bostonian. I don't necessarily love it as a reporter because every year it's kind of the same story over and over and again. And I'm always trying to look for like unique, different angles to everything that I tell. And I just happened to stumble into a great, unique angle that day just by being there, being present and walking around and finding it. And so let me go ahead and share that screen. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. Oh, you know what? I'm not sure if I clicked include sound. Okay, here we go.
Air,
Why is this 85-year-old woman such a hero to BC students at the marathon?
And you're the GOAT.
It's because there's a major problem here at mile 21. All the porta potties are on that side of the street.
Right? That is such a valid issue. We have to, like, God forbid a girl.
And to make matters worse, all these shops have locked their loos.
It just gets a little hectic in the store. They want to do other things besides go to the bathroom, so we eliminate that opportunity.
Even the frat houses won't let you. Can I use your bathroom?
No. Oh, give me money.
By some miracle, I found this one porta potty in a stranger's yard. What? Hi!
I recognize you off of TikTok!
Oh my God!
Oh my God! Oh my God! It's nothing too!
Just when I was next in line.
Thank you.
Have fun! I learned of the legend.
She blesses up by getting the porta potty here.
Love Ann.
Oh, Ann is the one that put this here?
Yeah.
She lives here. Ann's like an old lady who lives here.
Do you live here? I do. Is your name Ann? Ann, it's Ann, everybody! Yeah! Her name is Ann Mulligan, and she sympathizes because she was a BC grad herself.
Thank you so much. You're seriously, this is such a big help.
Over the years, she's seen a lot of people trying to in her yard. So this year, she decided to do something about it.
Thank you, Ann. Can I give you a hug?
Oh, sure.
Thanks, Ann.
You have no idea how heroic you are right now.
That's very nice of you to say. Oh, Chicas, I'm still picking up all of this
Oh,
stuff.
no.
This is every place.
She said the neighborhood has changed a lot, but no amount of frat parties can make her move.
We really had a wonderful life here.
We had such a great conversation, she even let me use her own bathroom. I love this home.
This is nice. We've done a lot of work over the years. This is the family. I have 3 sons.
See, we humans share a lot of the same problems.
And there's always somebody that needs to.
Yes, yes.
But too many of us are looking for solutions that only suit ourselves. You're not going to kick them out. You're just...
No, it's all BC.
Ann found a solution that works for everyone, and that's why she's the GOAT. Hey. Thank you so much, Ann.
Oh, you're welcome.
You've been such a delight. I'm so glad I got to meet you today.
Nice to meet you.
You can't spell Angel without Ann.
WBZ sign off.
At BC, I'm Matt Shearer. For more,
Tell Alexa to play WZBC.
WBZ News Radio.
Tell Alexa to play Tell Alexa to play WZBC News.
Dude.
Tell Alexa to play WBZ News
Radio. On iHeartRadio.
Oh my God!
What's
that?
Shearer!
WBZ! WBZ!
So, so that was a video that obviously, because of the nature of the fact that it was the marathon, I needed to turn that around pretty quickly. So I didn't really have time to sit on Pro Tools and like perfectly fine tune the sound. I needed to just get it to a place that was good enough so I could get it up that day to maximize the impact. And so to do that, I might as well, since we're sitting here, open up my Premiere session and just kind of show you some of the tricks that I did on some of the audio to get it to sound a little bit better. Let me open up Premiere right here. But yeah, again, literally, that was just a journey, a genuine journey that I was on. I needed to go to the bathroom, and I decided to start filming my adventure of trying to find a restroom on that side of the street. And by pure luck, I happened to find Ann, and that's that thing right there. So that was great. Okay, so I almost have this right here. I'm just going to change the setup right here. All right. So let me share my screen again. Include sound. Okay. So you'll notice I named this sequence Masterpiece. I do that just as a way to manifest it. I was like, because you need to name your sequences, and I'm like, well, okay, I'm just going to give it a name that will ensure that this piece works out great. So I'm sure you're not seeing anything in here that you're not really familiar with. You all know how Premiere works, or maybe not Premiere, but whatever video editing platform you use. They're all kind of similar and all sort of the same. See, I've got my WBZ logo up here in the corner. That's just something I got to do for my bosses. And I got all my video clips here. You'll notice that I have these just silent video clips down here that are audio clips from the video. those are just to help me sync up the video in case something goes wrong and the audio clips get out of sync. These clips all right here are from my recorder. This one down here is the one that's actually from the phone. Like if we listen to just that.
The street. Right? That is such a valid issue.
Not great quality, but if we go to the microphone sound.
Are on that side of the street.
Right? That is such a valid issue.
So much cleaner. But I sync them up and then obviously turn them down. You don't want to have both of those microphone clips going at the same time because that'll create phasing issues, and this is what that'll sound like.
That is such a valid issue. We have to pee. We have to pee.
Okay, so that was synced up pretty darn good. So that was not the best example of phasing issues, but I think you understand what I'm talking about there. And it's honestly about just like little things that are so obvious to some of us, like everyone here listening, because we do this kind of thing, but is not super obvious to everybody. Like little things like cross-fading every clip, right? See how I have just about every clip fading in and out, some longer than or shorter than others? That just like makes it a smoother listening experience. So it's not this jarring cut of me right here to me out, here, and you don't just hear the clips in between each cut. Like, listen to this.
These shops have locked their loos.
So that ambiance just kind of fades out. So by the time this lady is talking right here, you don't even notice it.
It just gets a little hectic in the store. They want to do other things besides go to the bathroom. So we eliminate that opportunity.
Even the
So that's like just an extremely easy, obvious thing that you can do to enhance your audio. Control your levels here, especially like this is something that in Pro Tools, part of the reason why I prefer that platform for this kind of stuff is because you can put processing elements on each particular channel here. So if I wanted every audio track on this horizontal channel to have the same processing, I could, rather than highlighting and applying it to change the audio, I could have it go through a processor like a compressor or a limiter or an EQ, and then it would just do it for everything. But to save myself time, rather than add a compressor to every single clip, I just manually adjusted the automation levels right here. So for example,
grad herself.
Thank you so much. You're seriously.
So Anne's voice was much quieter than those two students. So I just lowered them, boosted Anne, and it sounded much smoother.
Thank you so much. You're seriously. Thank you so much.
You'll notice here, check this out. So this is some of my narration right here. I recorded this, but because I recorded it in my car, listen to this.
Seen a lot of people trying to in her yard. So this year she decided to do.
There's no background noise, right? I added background noise there from the marathon so that it would sound smoother rather than sounding like, oh, we're outside.
Over the years, she's seen a lot of people trying to in her yard. So this year she decided to do something about it.
Thank you, Ed. Can I give you a hug? Oh, sure. Thanks, Ed.
You have no. And I just noticed as I'm playing that back that I did not put a fade out right here. But this is what happens when I'm rushing to get something done in my car. And that's the joy of doing news videos, is that you got to turn them around quickly, and sometimes you get sloppy. So, but it didn't really matter because I don't think that was a super jarring cut right there. Here's a crossfade between these two cuts just to make it smoother. Some of the stuff that I'm talking about too, like EQ, let me find a clip right here that I can show you where I can apply that. That would be useful. Probably something where yeah, right here. This is a good one.
Because there's a major problem here at mile 21.
So if I wanted to, like, let's say there was like a lot of wind that day or something, right? Or a truck going by, a lot of like low end rumble that's just kind of getting in the way of what I'm trying to say. A really super easy trick is under your effects. And every editing program has something like this for sound. I hit EQ, go down and look under audio effects here. You got 10 band, 20 band, 30 band. We'll just do a 10 real quick. And then so effect controls for this piece. Where's my 10 band EQ? Here it is. And we can customize it. So this is your 10-band EQ. You have something similar to this on just about every piece of audio equipment that you own, even if it's just your car stereo. You can adjust the high end, the middle, and the low end. So for recording something out on the street, I typically like to make it a little bit brighter by giving a slight pop on the high end down here. And then this is sort of like a manually what we would call an EQ, a high pass filter, which is where we basically have a bouncer standing at the door and saying everything that's too low can't go past, and everything that's high is allowed in. So the higher end of the spectrum gets a little bit of pop, the lower end gets rolled off like that. And this over here would be what we call a high shelf, because we're basically creating a shelf above our heads to place the higher frequencies on. And that's just going to make that voiceover right there pop a little bit. So
Go.
It's because there's a major problem here at mile 21. All the porta potties are on.
So you could hear the jump from that clip. Oops, let me move this so you can see what I'm talking about. From this clip of me standing on the side of the road,
Mile 21. All the porta potties.
to this clip of me walking on the sidewalk, my voice just sounds just a little bit lower on the sidewalk than it does on the side of the road because of the EQ. And so that can be a really easy way to clean something up if you get bad quality sound out there from your microphones. But the easiest way to control your sound and make it sound pretty good, honestly, would be just making it sound good from the moment you hit record. And all you have to do is just a quick levels check or a sound check. You see a lot of people on social media using little lavalier microphones as handhelds, like clip-on mics as handhelds, which they're not really made for that. And they're not made to go that close to your face. So the plosives are intense. Plosives are like your P's and your S's and your T's. And then sibilants, which is like your S's and your C's. When you hold a microphone like that up to your face, all of those letter sounds get really, really loud. And so it's important if you're going to be doing something like that to hold it off a little bit and just check your levels. If the levels are going to your phone, just take a look while you record. Do like a quick check 1, 2. Okay, that looks good. Now we're good to go. So that way, when you get back and you sit down at your desk and you listen back to all the sound, you're not like, oh my God, this is way too quiet. I have to boost everything up. And now there's all this background noise and hiss and it sounds terrible. Or even worse, if there's digital distortion, which is where you're recording it way too loud and it's like distorting the speakers and the mic. Like, you can't fix digital distortion unless you use some sort of AI or something. And actually, Adobe Premiere does have some pretty decent audio enhancement tools that are AI driven. Not to glaze up AI here, but that's something that's but that's there. And yeah, so these are the kinds of things that go through my head when I'm recording. Do we have any questions up to this point? I feel like I've done a lot of technical jargon talking, but if anyone here has any questions, happy to answer.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, how do you go about conducting an interview and making sure that, I guess, your voice isn't heard as much as the other person's voice, like when you're capturing audio in real time?
Yeah, so you'll see, you can see in the videos that I'm wearing my headphones. That's something you don't typically see like television reporters doing. Maybe certainly not print journalists, but because I'm in radio, I'm so used to monitoring my sound. So I have my headphones on and I'm kind of listening to make sure everything's coming through. But if you can't do that, just, like I said, test your levels, keep an eye on them. And and then just get pretty good with your microphone technique. Understand where to hold the microphone to get the best sound. You'll notice even me just talking right now, I have the microphone kind of to the side of me. It's at like about a 45-degree angle. That's good to where it can actually pick me up, but not really be popping those P's. If I were to have the microphone directly in front of me, you would hear every pop of every P that I say out of my mouth, But holding it off to the side, the P popping kind of goes a little off to the That's really funny sounding. The P popping goes in front of me, not directly into the microphone. Does that make sense? Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Of course. Any others?
I had a question about the marathon story we watched. What was your do your editors just give you like, hey, go out and find a story? And how long did it take you to shoot and edit that?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I think it's not super common for that to be the case. I think especially not with new reporters in the newsroom, they'll say like, okay, here's your assignment, go do that. For me, I've kind of earned an interesting niche in the newsroom where they sort of let me do my thing. They trust me to go out and find the story and tell it. And, all I needed to do, my only real assignment was to report from mile 21 of the Boston Marathon, the top of Heartbreak Hill, BC, all that. But I didn't want to just do the same marathon story over again. So I went out and found Anne, and I'm really glad I did. I feel like it worked out great. So, and how long it took to put that all together, I probably met Anne around noon, like 12 p.m. And I had the story posted by 7. Because I spent a lot of time, I spent a lot of time with Anne, and also a lot of time talking to other BC students about the bathroom issue and business owners, and just getting as much content as I possibly could to then go, when I sat down in my car, to go through everything, pull out the best pieces, and then start to arrange it in a way that made sense narratively, that flowed well, was kind of optimized for viewing on the algorithms and all that. And I also wrote around it. I wrote around all my clips and then hit the streets and recorded my stand-up shots of me in the video. Some of the stand-up shots I knew I was going to need, so I recorded them before I went down and sat to start to do the editing. But generally speaking, when I do a story, I'm capture first, write second. A lot of people will like write first and then go out and capture what they need. I don't like that, because personally I want to experience it and then tell the story of what I just experienced. So that's what works for me.
Hey, John.
So you have like a pretty fast turnaround for each one of your stories. So I was wondering, how do you go about doing that? Do you have any like tips and tricks? Because when I edit, it'll take like 5 hours to do something or like chop stuff up. So I'm just curious if you have any like advice about getting it fast.
Yeah, no, and honestly, this and turnaround time is faster than my usual. I don't normally turn around a story in a day. I think I also did that for the Chuck E. Cheese wedding, but that was just because it was fairly straightforward and simple. Other stories will take me a couple days, like I'll film one day, I'll edit the next day, and then maybe by the third day, I have it posted at some point during the day, whether it be in the morning or the afternoon, depending on how intense the story is. And that's also not even factoring some of the research that needs to go down beforehand, some of like booking of the guests, stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it all depends on the deadlines that I have to work with. Like a Marathon Monday story needs to be posted on Marathon Monday, typically, depending on what the story is. But other stories, I have a little bit of leeway. I'm really lucky that I don't cover a lot of super of the day stuff. Most of my stuff is evergreen. So my newsroom is very patient with me. If I need an extra day to finish a story, they'll give it to me. But some tips and tricks to kind of make the process more efficient. I would say be thinking about how you're going to tell the story while you're there. Like as you're interviewing somebody, pay close attention to what they're saying, listen for the threads, and start to piece together what you think the story might look like in your head, so that when you do sit to edit, you know exactly where to go to find your stuff. Another really great feature, by the way, I've been talking a lot about Adobe Premiere here just because that's personally what I use for my videos. Is that what you guys use too, or do you use a different program?
People, for the most part, there are people that have started to use Premiere more because they've liked video editing. And I know at least a number of you have started to pick it up, which I think is great. Other people are on iMovie and Clipchamp. Okay. And then CapCut, right? Yeah. Student's on CapCut. Yeah. But you're right. They're all a lot of the things. Yeah. Yeah.
At the end of the day, yeah, a lot of the editing principles are kind of the same across the different platforms. So I want to show you, if you do decide to use Adobe Premiere and you're looking for one way to make your process more efficient, oh boy, have I got a trick for you. Under text, You go to transcript, and here, let me make this part a little bigger here. It automatically transcribes the clips for you. So actually, let me go over to where I have just like the entire thing. It's all video. So this here is all the video I captured that day at the marathon, which to be right around the 2 hours worth of video. That's actually pretty efficient for me. Sometimes I'll go out and I'll record like 8 hours worth of video, but let's say I need to know the exact spot where, what about that part where Anne said, we've lived a happy life or here, or, so I can just like type happy real quick and boom, every time the word happy life, or I don't know if that's exactly what she said. I'm trying to think of something she said. Over the years, she said, oh, we've done a lot of work over the years on her house. Boom. Oh, wait, there's 3 times she said over the years. There's the one that I'm looking for. And then you can highlight, those specific words, and down on the timeline, if I zoom in, it should, actually, each word I click on, it'll go to that word for me. And then if I highlight this, see how it just highlighted the clip right there? I can copy that and then go into my other sequence where I'm making the masterpiece and just paste it, and there's the clip. And so that just makes it so much easier to find what I'm looking for. That's one thing that speeds up the process a lot. Other things, I think just practice and time. I know that's not a great answer, but the more you do it, the better your workflow gets. I'm a big believer in learning by doing. No one's going to be a master at this stuff on the first day. You can't sit and read sheet music for hours and then go over to a piano and play Beethoven perfectly. You have to actually try it and suck at it for a long time. But now, while you're in college, is a great time to suck at this stuff. Because if you just keep doing it, you'll get better at it and better to the point where you graduate and you have a nice little reel because you did a lot of it. So one way to improve your process and streamline it, just do it. Practice.
I have a question. So you said that you sometimes like film up to like 8 hours like worth of like footage. Do you have an extra do you have a separate phone that you record on, like in terms of like storage and stuff?
That's a good question. No, my phone is got pretty good storage, but I do also pay for a I could probably have the station pay for this if I wanted to, but since it's my personal phone, I have Google Cloud storage, like multiple terabytes worth. So every single night at the end of the day, when I go to bed, my phone automatically just uploads everything from my phone to the cloud. And I'm sure all your phones do this, whether it's iPhone, Android, doesn't matter. And then I can just delete everything. And then I have a clean slate and a clean hard drive on my phone with which I fill up with as many videos as I want. But I should also say it's not always 8 hours. Like maybe I'll be in a location for 8 hours, but I'm not filming constantly. So it ends up being like 5 hours worth of video, which is still a lot. But yeah, keep your phone clean. That's a good way to do it.
How about I think your shooting process is interesting too. Sometimes you're not always the one shooting it. Like, how do you get the shots where you're in the shot? Like, do you use a tripod? Do you use other people?
Yep, both. I have a tripod, and I also will occasionally hand my phone off to a random stranger on the street and say, hey, can you film me real quick? And people are just so TikTok brained nowadays that doesn't even faze them as a weird question to ask. They're like, oh yeah, sure. You're filming a TikTok? Of course I can help you. Here, yeah, let me hold it. And I'm like, great, thank you so much. But that's super rare. Most of the time I'll rely on the tripod. I do sometimes have people who are like training with me that day come out, or if I have like a particularly involved story that I'm working on where I know I'm going to need to be in the shot a lot and I want to have a lot of moving two shots. I do have a guy in the newsroom who's like kind of a part-time producer in a way for me, who I can hit up a couple times a week and just say, hey, I'm going out to film. Can you come help me out with this? And so he'll come along. But yeah, most of the time it's just me and a tripod.
What's your filming schedule like, and how often are you like out filming for a job?
Yeah, I wish I could be out all the time. I wish I had like a full staff who could do all my editing for me and that I could just be out all the time. But generally speaking, no, I'm only out like in the beginning of the week. I work Sunday through Thursday. That gives me one weekend day where I can interview people who might not be available during the week, and the rest of the week to do whatever editing needs to be done. And so, yeah, I'll typically go out and record on Sunday or Monday and, have the video up by like Wednesday, maybe Thursday, some days, depending on how much work needs to be done. And yeah, that's typically the goal. There are benefits to doing all the editing myself as opposed to passing it off to someone else. I think in the case of Anne and the porta potty, like it's a quicker turnaround time to just like bang it out myself rather than tell somebody what happened. I know exactly what clips I'm looking for, where to find them. I said this metaphor recently in an interview. Somebody asked me about that in my process, and I said, like, letting somebody else edit your videos for you is like handing them the keys to a rental car and saying, go drop this off at a random Hertz dealership that I have in my head, and you don't know which one it is, but you have to figure it out. I can give you a vague description of what the dealership looks like or what the rental place looks like, but beyond that, you got to figure it out. And it's so much easier to just kind of do it myself in that way.
Yeah. Do you often find, like, when you're going out interviewing people that you have like subjects that may not want to be on a video? And have you encountered a lot of people that get a little like hostile, I guess, when you like put a phone and a microphone up in their face and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't typically put a camera in people's face without asking them. I'll typically say, hey, do you mind if I interview you real quick? And, honestly, most of the time people say no, and that's normal. I get this question a lot about how do you get people to stop and talk to you? And the answer is you don't. Like, typically people have places to be, and that's okay. People aren't just walking down the sidewalk with nowhere to go. Some people are, but a lot of people are not. And so if they don't have the time to stop and be interviewed for a random video that they don't even know what it's about, you just say, okay, no problem, and move on. And that's why I always suggest recording in places where there are lots of people. Certainly sometimes the story dictates that you record in a very specific location and you don't have control over how many people are out there to interview. But if you do have the option, go to, like, I don't know, the parking lot of a grocery store or like a public park where there's a ton of foot traffic or something like that. Because people are going to say no, and you'll want to be able to just be like, okay, no problem. Turn around and go to the next person. Hey, can I interview you for a video real quick? And so, yeah, absolutely. I meet a lot of people that don't want to be interviewed. I just brush it off and move on. But I've never, you asked kind of about hostility too. I don't think I've really had any hostile encounters, for the reason being that I asked them permission first. And you should do that too. It's the ethically moral thing to do.
Thank you.
Of course.
How do you? Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
When you're in a space with a lot of people, how do you manage recording video and then also audio, asking your questions, and also being a part of the experience itself, like you were saying earlier? How do you manage those things at once?
Yeah. So most of the time when I'm recording, you'll see it's kind of like first person perspective, where I'm just holding the phone in one hand and the microphone in the other, and I'm making direct eye contact with the person I'm talking to and just engaging in a conversation. And then sometimes, yeah, I'll want to get in the shot. And if I don't have somebody nearby to help me with that, I'll just be like, hold on 1 second. Let me put up the phone on the tripod. I want to get a different angle here. I'll put the phone on the tripod and I'll say, okay, so let's continue our conversation. I did that with Anne when we were, sitting in her backyard on her patio. But then in terms of just experiencing it all, yeah, I mean, most of the time it's just going to be that first person perspective. So I'm there, I'm physically moving around, experiencing it, and the people that are watching it are experiencing it with me in that first person perspective. So most of the time that it's just doing that. But you also specifically asked about doing it in places where there are lots of people around. And, I think some people might see that as kind of distracting. You just have to be able to deal with that, I guess. And again, that's something that takes practice. Don't let the distractions get to you too much, or be able to multitask, be able to kind of like listen to what someone's saying while also being aware of your surroundings. It's happened to me before where I've been interviewing someone and mid-conversation, I'm like, okay, this person's not as interesting as I thought, but that person over there is really interesting. I want to go talk to that person. And so then I just politely wrap it up. I say, okay, great. Hey, thank you so much for talking. It was so nice meeting you. Okay. Hey, you over there, can I interview you on the radio? And just be able to move on. So, yeah, I think that's another one of those skills that just takes practice to get used to.
Thank you.
Yep.
Are you at the point now where people have seen you around for a couple of years and they know the types of stories you do, so you get pitched a lot, or are you still out finding your own stories?
Oh yeah, I get pitched all the time, and it's good and bad. I think overall it's good because I would rather have lots of options to choose from. The only reason why I'm like, is because most of the ideas are not good, and most of the time people are pitching ideas with their own kind of self-interests at the core of it, like I just opened this store and I want to promote my store, so come interview me. They don't care about the fact that the story maybe isn't all that compelling or interesting. They just think like, oh, well, I want to be on the news, so you should come interview me or come do this thing that I find really interesting, but maybe other people don't. And so I kind of have to use my discretion. And the truth is, I have no shortage of stories. Like, in fact, I'm buried right now in a pile of backlog of videos that I need to dig myself out of. But I think it's great when people pitch stories to me. When they hit me up in the DMs, it's like I've got eyes and ears all over the state. And I kind of go with the ones that I'm the most passionate about or drawn to. Someone hit me up today about, you should do a video about the history of shoemaking in Haverhill, Massachusetts. And I'm sure there's a compelling, interesting story about making shoes in Haverhill, but I was not particularly moved by that pitch. So I was like, you know what? I think I appreciate it. I'll think about it. I'll add it to my list of ideas and let you know if I can do it. Yeah. Do we have Haverhill in the house? Is Haverhill?
Yeah,
nice.
From Haverhill.
Hell yeah.
In the BC video, it seems like, and obviously in your the St. Patrick's Day parade videos too, do you have a larger following from younger audiences, like college age audiences? That seems to be your big sweet spot.
That's a great question. I often wonder about my demographic, the viewers, because I wouldn't say I necessarily am targeting a particular demographic. Maybe in the beginning I was, in the sense that the primary goal of posting on TikTok at first was to introduce a younger audience to WBZ, because you have to imagine a 100-plus-year-old AM news radio station is not necessarily raking in the 20-somethings, We have a lot of listeners, but they're not exactly young. And so when we started posting on TikTok, we noticed a big shift there. We know there was a direct correlation from when we started posting on TikTok to our ratings going up in the 18 to 24 demographic. And so in that regard, it was like mission accomplished. And it's funny because I'll get different responses. Like when I meet someone in their 20s who recognizes me, it's, I know you from TikTok, like you saw in that video, or the St. Patrick's Day videos. When I meet someone in their 30s or 40s, it's, I know you from Instagram. Not that 20-somethings aren't on Instagram too. Certainly there's crossover in all the different age groups, but millennials tend to favor Instagram. Gen Z tends to favor TikTok. And when I meet someone over the age of 50, it's, I hear you on the radio. So, but it's good. There's like I just had a big live show at the Wilbur Theater, my very first live show ever in Boston. And it was super exciting. It was a huge success, sold out show. And I was looking out into the crowd and it was very mixed. We had college students and we had old people. And so I kind of take pride in that, to be honest. The fact that I've found a way to kind of bridge the generations together. So I guess the one thing that binds them all is that they're all New Englanders, typically Massachusetts, but some New Hampshire, some Rhode Island as well.
Do you want to show another story?
By the way, yeah. Sorry, and the reason I keep stopping is just one, ask questions, but also I can't remember what you said, Scott. How long do we have here to talk today? What time do I have to? What time do I cut it off?
We have until like 5.
Oh, great. Okay. For whatever reason in my head, I had 4:30. So that's why I was like, all right, I want to give them an out in case they need to go to their next class. But that's great. I could talk till 8 if you guys want, but we'll keep going till 5. Yeah. Let me play another story that I think could be a good example of some of the stuff that I've been talking about right now. All right. So I don't believe you've seen this. I'm not sharing my screen right now, right? Okay, yeah. Pull this up. So sometimes you have to pivot, right? You'll be doing a story and I don't know, maybe the story doesn't turn out to be the great piece that you thought it was going to be, and you have to kind of, I don't know, come up with an alternate solution. Sometimes you work with the newsroom on that. You hit them up and say, hey guys, this isn't working. Do you have anything else for me? One day I was out in the freezing cold. No one was out there. This was like 4 years ago now. No one was stopping to talk. And so I popped into a random little flower shop just to see what was going on. And I was like, Valentine's Day is coming up. Maybe I'll get a nice, wholesome Valentine's Day story from this florist here. And that is not what I got. And you'll see why.
This is like being a bartender or a therapist. You are a therapist. Everyone tells you the problems that you don't want to know.
But that's the life of a florist, according to Chris Jackson of Robin's Flower Shop.
This is the greatest card message. Condolences. You're officially old. Love, the best thing that ever happened to you.
Cute.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, and with the stress of Valentine's Day coming up, you might catch some colorful language from Chris.
Well, don't you have one of those buttons go beep?
I do now.
Why can't you get a beep damn credit card number? You don't know your own beep credit card?
Who's this?
I don't know, some beep.
The shop's been here on Devonshire for almost 40 years. Chris came on board nearly a decade ago.
Actually, I went to school to be a funeral director, but that didn't work out because I made Grandma look like a drag queen one too many times, so they fired me.
Do you love your job, though?
Nobody loves their job.
Yeah, but I mean, you're around
like
flowers.
When you say I love you. It's like, come on. Then show it me with your bank account.
He's recently single.
Oh, I'm so much more happier.
Now you don't need to worry about Valentine's Day.
No, never did anyway.
I wonder why you're divorced.
I don't have a type.
No?
Type is with money. Around here? Oh no, honey, you gotta go to Newton, you gotta go to Beacon Hill.
So what's your Valentine's Day advice for all the people out there, all the couples out there?
Break up. Turn it in for a better model.
In Boston, I'm Matt Shearer. For more great advice, ask Alexa to play WBZ News Radio on iHeartRadio.
Look at this guy's gonna go down the one-way street. Yeah, go ahead with your VFW.
VFW?
Yeah, VFW.
And so that guy, I'm pretty sure I asked him like 2 questions and he just like talked. He just went off. And so I was training someone that day and I turned to them and I was like, we're just going to make this a whole feature on this guy. And it was fun. I also like doing stories about people with really interesting jobs. Like, did you know you could hire somebody to be your Tinder coach? Meaning they write your online dating bio and like come up with the pictures to post and sometimes even respond to messages for you.
Chanel Connor from Dorchester has a cool job.
I am a professional Tinder coach.
Basically, she gets paid to help the hopeless romantics.
Because like if you go on Reddit, for instance, you'll see like a lot of single guys being like, I get no matches on Tinder. I really need help.
And she's had a lot of success, so I wanted to see the process for myself. Only problem, I'm married, so I can't. But I do know a single guy.
Okay.
Well, Chris, I'd like to introduce you to my friend Chanel here.
People always name their kids after things they can't afford. Lexus, Porsche, Chanel.
As we learned from our first meeting, Chris from Robin's Flower Shop is very single.
Whatever it takes to get the most tax money back is what I am.
Do you like to travel?
Yeah, on somebody else's expense.
Does that sound like a good profile?
No, we'll change the wording a bit, I think.
After some tweaks.
Are you ready? I can make you laugh and make your day bloom. Comedian by night, florist by day. Swipe right if you're ready for some pedals and punchlines.
It's pretty good.
Shakespeare, clever.
Do you have any pictures of you on your phone? Okay, you're only showing me half the picture.
Well,
so we took some new ones, then answered Tinder's questionnaire.
bisexual? Yes, I will get sexual if you buy me something.
Are you liking this app so far?
No. Sucks.
And finally, swiping time.
Nope. Oh, definitely not. Oh, yeah, we like that one too. Oh, God, no.
With that, it was time to leave them to it. Chris says thank you.
Oh, no problem. Happy to help anytime.
She's so nice.
So there's still hope for him.
I think so.
We'll check back on that. From downtown, Matt Shearer, WBZ, Boston's News Radio.
So Chris is kind of like a recurring character in my videos, and I have a few of those. I that to me is just kind of like a fun thing that I like to do, is just like have these people show up, almost like these recurring roles like you'd see in a sitcom. I don't think anyone else in the world of news ever does that, and so. Like you'll be seeing like a random story that I'll do about like Boston Fashion Week, and I'm interviewing all these models, and then all of a sudden like Chris will show up. Although I gotta say that hasn't really been the case in a couple of years, and the reason for that is because Chris ended up getting fired from the flower shop. Surprise, surprise. And so now he works at the airport, but I did invite him to be a part of my Wilbur Theater show that I was just telling you about, and that was a risky decision. He got very close to saying something that I think could have gotten me canceled. But at the end of the day, he's an entertaining person, and people loved him when he showed up in my videos a lot. So they were happy to see him at that show. Oh, sorry. Hold on one sec. I am going to play for you. Oh, I just realized the video that I was about to show you is saved in a different place. Sorry, Mario, your princess is at a different castle. Here we go. This is my most recent video, the one that I just posted 2 days ago. So if anyone here follows me, I apologize for making you watch this, but I do think there's some storytelling to go along with this.
Do you have any special talents?
I did the demolition derby, smashing cars in 2004. What? The Marshfield Fair. Smashing into each other. It was awesome. Then the guy ended up on top of me because his car, he smashed into me. I got whiplash for 2 days. It was worth it. I had the neck brace and everything. It was hilarious. That was the best thing in life, because not every woman wants to smash cars, you know what I mean?
But you're not like every other woman.
No, I'm not. I'm wild.
This is...
Molly Ringwald. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's Missy from Hull.
They used to say, you look like Julia Roberts. I'm like, why can't I have her money, you know?
Did you win the demolition derby?
No, I was third place. I was upset. What? I didn't get no trophy or nothing. I was mad. But my car still was running at the end. It was a 1989 Lincoln Town Car. It was black. It was mint. I'm like, yeah, smash it, you know.
I should mention she drives the Red Line for a living.
Demolition trains. I'm only kidding, guys. Oh my God, a lady was like painting her toes on the platform. I said, oh my God, what is this? I had to honk the horn. I'm like, get out of the way, you know.
Missy and I had so much fun talking, we ended up hanging out for like an hour.
I always wanted to be like a singer and dance like Kelly Clarkson. I want to be up on the dance floor. Gotta keep dreaming, guys.
And that
gotta keep dreaming, guys.
Was a huge theme for Missy, because for most of us, our biggest dreams happen when we're the littlest.
I wanted to be a dancer and a singer, like Madonna. I love Madonna, you know what I mean?
But if we could just hang on to that hope as we get older, it could be life-saving.
So the dream is still alive.
It's still alive. I will never give up that dream.
Yeah! Because she's been through a lot. Family stuff, health stuff, a lot of stuff I'm not going to publicize.
We all been through tough times, you know what I mean? But what makes you strong is you move on from it.
Which gave me an idea.
If I could get you up on a stage in front of a lot of people, would you do it?
Oh, hell yeah.
You would?
Oh my God, yeah, but not right now, but yes, I would.
What about April 9th at the Wilbur Theater?
Okay, I'll do it.
You see, that was the night of my first ever live show with a bunch of familiar friends in front of a sold-out crowd. So after I played them that same video you just watched.
All right, everybody, you're about to see one more dream come true here tonight. Everybody, give it up for Missy! And I want you all to stand up. We're going to turn this into a dance party.
Them like they do in Texas, please.
And suddenly all this small talk of big dreams makes sense. Missy dreams of the spotlight because, like so many of us, she longs for a place where she feels seen and heard and applauded for being unapologetically herself.
They'd be laughing. They'd be like, go Missy, go Missy. It's Missy Elliott's twin. I'm getting famous, guys.
Thank you so much, everybody. From the Wilbur Theater, I am Matt Shearer. Say it with me. For more, ask Alexa to play WBZ News Radio.
It won't just be Perry cheering for you at the team.
Yeah, you mean Journey? You just singer Journey? No. Oh man, I would have been all excited. You know,
man.
Tyler. You know who I'm talking about from Journey.
Yeah, not Tyler Perry.
Oh, come on.
That reference at the end there with Perry was a, I don't know, does anyone here watch Love on the Spectrum by chance on Netflix? It's a great show. She's from that show, and she's also a recurring character in my videos. She's just such a fun person who is extremely passionate about the MBTA. And so that was a reference that made a lot more sense at the Wilbur show. But it was a fun opportunity to kind of bring Missy up on stage for that and kind of have that be a big surprise for everybody. Because what I did at the show was throughout the night, as I was like playing clips, I sprinkled a bunch of clips in there of her and had people probably wondering, like, who is she? Like, what's her deal? Like, what? And then at the very end of the show, I could kind of play this video, and it perfectly set up the grand finale where we brought out everyone from the show on stage at the same time, and we were all dancing together and throwing out glow sticks, and it was a lot of fun. But that's another story that just kind of fell into my lap. Like, I was out interviewing people, trying to see like what people are up to. And I found her and started a conversation, and I was like, there's something here. And then she started going off about that demolition derby, and we kept talking and found out about her dreams of being a dancer when she grows up. And I was just like, there's something here. You know, what can I do to take this to the next level? How about have her dance at the show? And that's just always, I think that's such an important lost art in the world of storytelling, documentary style storytelling or journalism. It's just going out and talking to people and figuring out what the story is. You know, I think we get into these routines where we sit down in the newsroom every day. All right, who's covering what story? What's the Globe talking about today? Okay, so there's this thing happening. You go to that press conference. And it's just kind of boring. But like for me, I love just going out and talking to people and seeing what their story is. You never know. You might walk into a flower shop and happen upon a, you know, former funeral director who turns dead people into drag queens. You know, it's just really fun. You never know what you're going to find. Any questions up till now?
I just wanted to say that I went to school with Perry, and she like asked for my autograph in 5th grade. She's always been that kind of like, I don't know, girl that we always like knew was going to be famous in some capacity, just because she has such a kind heart and like always uplifts other people. So when like you made that video, it was like such a fulfilling moment for everyone who knows her, to see her like get her flowers finally. So thank you for doing that. She's the best.
I love that. Thank you for saying that. That's so cool. That's right. I forgot she grew up in New Hampshire before moving down to Cambridge, Massachusetts. That's awesome to hear. She asked for your autograph. That's so cool. Should I be asking for your autograph too? I can't really see it clearly. Are you famous?
Sure, why not? I'll give you my autograph.
Do that. That's awesome. Yeah, no, she's great. And it's funny too, because actually I should play that video you're talking about. And I apologize that you've seen this, but the others haven't, because there's a lot there to talk about as well. So again, all you need to know about Perry, I think you'll see in the video, but she, like I said, she's on the spectrum. She happens to be on that Netflix docuseries Love on the Spectrum, and she's very passionate about public transportation. So here we go. And it just so happens, by the way, that I bumped into her like 3 years, or no, maybe 2 years before Love on the Spectrum aired. And I wasn't able to use the footage because I ended up having to drop the story and move on to a different thing. But she was just a random person on the street that I had interviewed for that story and never got to use it. And so that's how this begins.
What's that?
Wait, are you part of the news?
Yeah.
Oh my God, what's up? What's going on?
Hey, I'm Matt Shearer from WBZ News Radio.
Hi, I'm Perry Kim. I'm a huge fan of the MBTA. I just want to say they Thank you so much for giving me a great way to get around Boston without the cars. I just feel like free, like I can go anywhere, and I wish everyone loved the T as much as I do.
So that happened back in 2023.
Oh my gosh, it's like an underground kingdom.
I was working on a totally unrelated story, and that self-proclaimed tea princess showed up like a party crasher who's so chill that everyone just rolls with it.
Train pal!
Let's go, fist bump.
Woo!
I never did get to use that footage, but I always wondered what became of that purple princess known as Perry. And then one day I was watching TV.
I'm Parry. I'm 22 years old.
Perry had been chosen for the hit Netflix docuseries Love on the Spectrum,
I love the MBTA more than anything.
where she rode the tea to our hearts.
I'm not driving in Boston, ew.
So I knew I had to find her again, which I did.
Perry, how are you?
I'm really lucky. Hi!
But unlike last time, she's super famous now, so I didn't want this to just be like any interview. I mean, we got royalty here. I wanted to give Perry the best day ever.
Yes, we meet again, and I've got a bunch of cool surprises for you today.
I'm so excited. Oh, there's a red line. Right, Royal Chariot awaits.
First surprise.
I want to introduce you to my friend Nick here. He's from Wicked Joyful.
Oh my god! That's my open. Oh my god, this is so cute. I love it.
Thanks for bringing positivity into this
Oh,
world.
you're so welcome. It's like a dream.
Speaking of dreams,
What's your dream MBTA experience?
Ooh, well, it would be so cool if I could ride with Mayor Wu or Taylor Swift. Oh my god, I'd be the ultimate dream.
Doors will open on the left.
we got off the train in Southie where our friends from the T took us to our next surprise.
This used to be an old train station in the 1900s.
These old tunnels sat abandoned for a century before they were converted into an MBTA training center or a playground for Perry.
So cool, I never got to drive a train before. They're an emergency. Have things gotten too terrific for this world to handle? The destination of this train is the Hidden Mermaid Spas located east of Perry Kingdom.
And she really got the princess treatment from the
I
staff.
love that one.
A swag bag.
Oh my god. And Gucci, the tea's my Gucci.
Guess what? I'm on a spectrum.
Oh, really? I would have never known. Wait, that's awesome. Are you going to be on the next season of Love on the Spectrum?
But that wasn't even the biggest surprise. Remember when she said,
It would be so cool if I could ride with Mayor Wu or Taylor Swift.
well, 1 out of 2 ain't bad.
We'll go to count of 3, right? 1, 2, 3.
Oh, wait! Whoa! Oh my god, it's like ancient art. Oh,
And have you noticed a special guest
oh
here
my
with
god, wait, Mayor Wu!
Hi, Perry.
Oh my god, how are you? Oh my god!
So exciting to meet you.
You too!
Mira had been dressed in her tea outfit earlier, but we had a diaper situation. Am I allowed to say poop explosion?
Yes.
Anyway, so she's wearing purple instead.
Oh, purple! Wait, purple Princess Perry!
That's
She
right.
knows! Oh my god!
I just want to say thank you for all that you do to share your story, to share your love and your passion with the whole world.
Oh, thank you. It's beyond honored to meet you.
Same here.
So Taylor Swift.
Yes! Oh my god! No, you're amazing. Have a terrific day, Mayor. Oh my god! I'm over the moon. Oh my god, I'm so happy. This is really terrific.
We just wanted you to have the best day ever, Perry.
I totally did. Thank you. You totally accomplished that. That was the best tea venture ever. Dora the Explorer could never.
From the Red Line, I'm Max Shearer. For more, ask Alexa to play WBZ News Radio on iHeartRadio.
I say womp womp to the haters. Haters gonna hate, but they can just exit the rear side of the train and pack their bags.
I should say, by the way, that Perry was at my live show too at the Wilbur, and she, I gave her the gift of an actual chair from the Red Line on the MBTA, and this was her face when she sat down in it. I just loved that reaction. She was so excited. It was like I couldn't get Taylor Swift to ride the T with her, but I could at least get her own Red Line chair for her house. And that was just such an awesome, rewarding moment. Yeah, a lot we can talk about with that one too. I mean, first and foremost, the way that we got Mayor Wu to do this was apparently when you film in certain parts of the MBTA, you have to get approval by like the at the state level. So like it went all the way up the state when I had asked about doing this interview there to the governor's office. And the governor was like, oh, I like Love on the Spectrum. I want to meet Perry. Can I be in this video too? And I'm like, sure. Why the hell not? The governor of Massachusetts wants to be in this video. That sounds like a fun idea. But then she had to bail at the last minute. So it was like, I had it in my head, like, who's a cool, powerful person I can introduce to Perry? How about the mayor of Boston, who's pretty popular in the city? Why not? And unbeknownst to me, that mayor happens to be one of Perry's bucket list dream people that she wanted to meet. And so when she said that to me on the train, as we were going to meet the mayor, my jaw almost dropped, and I looked at everyone who I was with who knew where we were headed. Like, did you hear that? And I was like, oh yeah, I know. We're about to capture some magic here. So that was just a really awesome surprise for everyone. Something I want to say too, like the music that you're hearing in some of these pieces, I don't often have music. But 99% of the time when you do hear music in one of my stories, it's me playing it. So like in that piece, it was just like guitar and harmonica. In the Chuck E. Cheese wedding story you heard, I did guitar, bass, keyboard, saxophones, some other stuff too. And that just is fun for me. That just adds an extra element of production that I like, that I know nobody else, no other reporter will add to a story if they were to make a similar one. So, and I don't have to worry about the copyright infringement stuff. So, that being said, you did hear Lady Gaga in the last story that I played for you with Missy dancing up on stage. I probably shouldn't have done that. I don't think any of you here are with, her record label, so you're not going to sue me for that. But I decided to take my chance because the music was so important to the dancing part, and the fact that she picked that song. And so I was just like, I'm just going to do it. But I do some tricks to kind of get around the copyright stuff, like so that Instagram's bots don't detect it. Like, I think if it were to go to court, it'd probably be under like fair use and I could get away with it because it's just such a short clip of the song. But, to get around Instagram's bots automatically detecting it, I added like a slight pitch shift. So like if, just a little something so that it sounds slightly different from the actual recording, that Instagram bots might not realize it's the detected work. And also talking over it, I think, obscures it a little bit. Any other questions? I know we're up against the clock here. I want to make sure everyone has a chance.
Yeah, Adrian.
Sorry, I know we're a little short for time, but I was wondering about how you measure like engagement for your videos. Like, what do you do? Because engagement is such a huge thing. We're always wondering like how to make our videos engaging for others. So what are like some of the things you think about to like make sure people are watching till the end?
Great question. First and foremost, you probably already know this, but the most important part of your video is those first 3 seconds, right? 3 might even be generous. It's probably only the first 2 seconds, because that's how long it takes for someone to decide whether or not they're going to stick with the video or if they're going to swipe away to the next video. So you need to have a really good hook. In the old days of TV journalism and stuff, and even still today on TV, you'll watch a story and they'll have this like long setup where they'll show like the sunrise, and it'll be like, it was a beautiful summer day in the city of Framingham, Massachusetts, when blah, blah, blah. And just like, it's this long setup that takes way too long to get to the point. And that works great on TV, but it does not fly on social media. So you got to give them a good hook right away. I'm not going to play this whole video because I know we have a little bit of time left, but I do want to show you what I believe to be the best opening hook I have ever had in a video. And it was right here in my own city of Framingham. We happen to have a guy with a very interesting name running for mayor of the city.
Jeffrey Epstein is running for mayor of Framingham. Let's go meet him.
So there you go. I think that I'm very proud of that intro because it hooks people. People hear that Jeffrey Epstein is running for mayor and they're like, what? I got to stick with this video. I got to watch this. So that's something to keep in mind. And then in terms of other algorithmic stuff and metrics, like algorithms change constantly. It's really hard to keep on top of. And also it's mysterious. Like you don't know when an algorithm changes until suddenly you start to see your metrics changing, and then you have to change your practices and you're like, oh God, here we go. But the one thing that never changes is the value of a good story. A good story will that's well told will always reach its people, even if you're not doing some formulaic style of storytelling. And that's another reason why I try not to obsess about metrics too much, because like I don't want to be telling a story in like a mathematical way. I want to be telling a story more like a canvas, right? I want to tell a story that I think is worth sitting down and watching, regardless of what an algorithm thinks. And, for the most part, it seems to be working. So yeah, it's important to look at the metrics. I'd be lying if I said I didn't get bummed out when a video that I was really proud of didn't get a lot of views, but just, you try not to let it get to you too much.
All right, that's an awesome point to end on. Thank you, Matt.
Of course. Thank you all. You had some really great questions.
Yeah. All right.
I
Thanks
love
again
that.
for showing up and making the time. I appreciate it.
For sure, Scott. Thanks to you. And sorry for all the technical troubles, but glad we got it to work.